Oh man, so Apple have just announced the first set of states in America which will allow you to store a digital state ID or driving license on your iPhone. Can you imagine? This is where we've come to. Let's check it out. So Apple announces first states that will let you keep a digital version of your driver's license. And you can see it starts with 8 states: Arizona, Connecticut, Georgia, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Utah. So you can see here the diagram. You can basically scan your driving license or state ID, and then you can use it for what Apple says would be convenience around traveling and without a physical wallet. They're trying to replace the physical wallet, which is what this article goes into saying. Now, I hate to say I told you so, but if you go back and type in Ijaz convenience economy, you will see a video I made probably about 4 years ago. Before kind of scanning your thumbprint was ubiquitous and it just came out, I mentioned that consumers will always look to convenience, and convenience will always trump privacy. So even though innately we know what we want to keep private, and going back, before, our thumbprint was considered, and I say it in the video, one of the most private things. You would never give this to anybody. That's your identity. You gave it just so you don't have to type in 4 digits on your phone, right? That's just where we came to. And now consumers, as much as they're going to, stir up a fuss around this, they're going to use it. You already put your credit card on your phones. You're going to put your driving license. You're going to fight it for a little while, but eventually you're going to put your driving license and your state IDs and all forms of your identity will be sitting with the Apple. Now, this is what has me concerned. So let's take a look at this. And literally it's come up on the same day. We can see WhatsApp has been fined a record $267 million for breaching EU privacy rules. And it's funny that both these articles come out on the same day. So Ireland's data protection has fined them a record $267 million for breaching EU data privacy. Ireland's Data Protection Commission said Thursday that WhatsApp did not tell citizens in the European Union enough about what it does with their data. And we know this is the case. We know whenever there's a product which is free, we've spoke about this at length. We spoke about this even with Robinhood and payment for order flow. Go check that video out. Wherever something is free, it's taking something away from you, particularly your data and your privacy. And in this case, you can see here that WhatsApp says here, look, in an FAQ on its website, WhatsApp states that it shares phone numbers, transaction data, business interactions, mobile device information, IP addresses, and other information with Facebook. They say they don't share personal conversations, location data, or call logs. How are we supposed to know? They're already sharing this data with Facebook, which is a separate entity, and that's a concern. But let's come back to it. This is the trend we're going in. I mentioned it 4 years ago and nothing has changed. Time is the one finite commodity as humans we have. And you can see from humans' behavior, if you just analyze people's behavior, you will see that people are willing to do anything to reduce friction, right? Whether that's pay more, like with Uber and Airbnb. Look how much you're paying for a taxi. It's skyrocketed. I mean, Uber prices in the States have gone up 90% in a year. Right? But people still want the convenience. They want to press a button and know where the car is, be able to go, jump in, and they can put the prices double that for that convenience. Look at your phone. You put your credit card details on there. You put all your personal data on Facebook and Twitter, and you tell people what you're having for breakfast. Why? Because you want to, for convenience, for your social enjoyment and reputation. So these are the things that people are doing, and that's not going to change. We're going to see these government IDs on your phone. You're going to put your driving license on your phone. Apple's made it clear they're trying to get rid of the physical wallet. They've already got your credit cards and financial devices. They're going to, you can already see the kind of loyalty cards which you keep in your wallet. They're all digitized. You can see that the IDs are now going to go onto these wallets. And these are all a concern because this is a centralized American company, Apple, who owns this data. And if they roll this out across the globe, it's one thing them having the US citizens' data, but they'll then have the global record of all state IDs, government IDs, and this will be worrying. And I'll be surprised if other foreign governments allow it. I can see why US are allowing it because, it's a US company and Apple's already sharing data with the American governments anyway. But from a global perspective, it'll be interesting to see how they try to roll this out. But look, that's the state of the world we're in. We are in a convenience economy, and these kind of things where people, somebody will upload their driving license just so they don't have to carry the physical one around. Okay, so when anybody needs it, they're going to show it to them, right? Somebody's going to eventually put their passports on digital copies so they can travel with everything on their phone, right? People don't want these physical touches, and that's just how things are going to go. And anybody who says otherwise, I mean, just remember the first few people who didn't want to sign up to Facebook because they were like, I'm not going to sign up to Facebook. I don't know this website. I don't know what it is. How did that go? Eventually, after a couple of years, when all their friends were on Facebook, they too downloaded it. It's just how it went. Those who initially held out from putting their credit cards on their phone or downloading banking apps on their phone, do you remember how big a deal that was? To download your banking app on your phone, they've done it anyway. And you're kind of moving into a world where all data is shared, all data is going anywhere, and it's regulatory bodies aren't doing enough to kind of control this. I mean, there's $260 million fine for WhatsApp. They're going to shrug it off and carry on. It's nothing for Facebook. They're going to carry on doing what they're doing because they're making billions and soon to be trillions of dollars on the marketing data that they're taking from consumers for free. And that's where I think decentralized applications and dApps are really going to come into their fruition, because when these decentralized blockchain versions of all these platforms exist, then these companies will not be able to take us for a ride. Because when you've got a decentralized Twitter, when you've got a decentralized application which can hold your IDs, when you've got decentralized payments, which we can see already, that's when we're going to get true autonomy away from these companies and single entities owned and colluding with governments, holding all our data and kind of holding us ransom. Because at the end of the day, if you don't give that data, you're falling behind in the economy. And that's how they've kind of just pressurized everybody into behavior change, giving away your thumbprint, putting your credit card on your phone, now putting your driving license and things like that. You can see with the vaccine passports, people having to scan their faces. You can see through know your customer rules, people scanning 3D versions of their face and putting in all their data just to get access to buying some crypto. So these are the challenges we face, and ultimately people end up having to do it for convenience and to stay up to date with the economy. Otherwise, they're just going to fall behind and become meaningless. So it'd be interesting to see how this space evolves. I mean, it's a big move by Apple, and you can see why they want to do it. And ultimately, the people who push back against it are eventually going to have to do it, which is quite a challenge in itself. So there you go, guys. Apple planning to roll out digital IDs. What's your view on it? Comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.